Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to week 1, okay, which is January the 7th through the 13th. We're looking at greetings, farewells, the Spanish alphabet, and numbers. To start off this week and any other week, it's best if you watch the video. The video explains to you what you have to do for the week. You're going to want to study pages 4 through 11 in your text. At the end of this lesson, students should be able to greet and say goodbye to others in the target language. They should be able to recognize and recite the alphabet, as well as be able to spell common words and phrases in the target language. Students should also be able to count up to 100, and all of this week's activities address student learning outcomes 1 and 2. And everything is due by the 10th, which is Thursday. That's when we're going to have, when our work is every week is going to be due unless otherwise stated. Okay, so the first assignment you have has to do with your syllabus. You can find your syllabus on the left-hand side. If you can see right here, there is even though it says PDF, it's a Word version of the syllabus, which you could download, or you can open up the Moodle book. So you're supposed to go through this syllabus, and then after you have done so, you are going to want to click on this form right here, and you're going to click on the thread, and you're going to hit reply, and then post any questions or concerns you have about information included in the syllabus or any other questions you have about the class thus far, okay? And so then when you're done with that, the next assignment you have is to look at the videos right here. Each week I'm going to have a book, and in that book are going to be videos that go over the topics that you need to know for the week. This video is the same for all of my classes, but I have one that's online, so you guys, the only way you're going to get this information is through the videos. And I have 2 that are face-to-face. Sometimes we'll cover most of this information in class. Normally the first week we end up a little bit behind because we have to do introductions. So I'm going to suggest for those of you that are in the face-to-face class that you also look at all the videos. If you open it up, there's a video. My mouse is dying on me. There's a video on the alphabet. This is just a song of the alphabet in case you like to learn it that way. This is the vocabulary that's on pages 4 and 5, which is greeting vocabulary, and this goes over numbers 0 to 100. Okay, and so after you're done watching the videos, then you'll come back here and click on the class participation form. Each week you're going to have one of these, and it is a grade, so you do have to post in this participation form. And it's basically just like a check-in. All you're supposed to do is post. You click on the thread again, hit reply, and you're going to post any questions or concerns you have about the material covered in the video or covered in class for those of you that are in my face-to-face class. Now I know each week may not lead itself to, the material may not lend itself to questions. I mean, ideally I cover everything pretty well in the video, so hopefully you have 0 questions. And if that's the case, though, you still have to post, so you just need to post that you have no questions or concerns, okay? But it's beneficial to keep looking back here because one of your classmates may have a question and it may relate to something that you thought you understood, but potentially after looking at their question, maybe you didn't. But if you do have a question about an assignment, I tend to look at these forums. Sometimes I look at them during the week, but they don't come to my phone. So a lot of times people have a question about an assignment. To be honest, it's going to be on Thursday, and it's going to be like closer to the due date's time. So if you are struggling with an assignment, I suggest that you send me a remind text or that you email me rather than posting in the forum, because I may see it too late to help you with an assignment. And the texting is probably the best. If I'm still awake, I usually handle most things that you guys text me about, but I'm not always checking my email, you know, because like I have things to do too, so I'm not always, you know, right in front of the computer. So if it's a dire emergency, I think a text is the best way to communicate with me. There we go. Sorry, I'm doing this outside and I can't see my mouse. Okay. All right. And then you also have activities in my language labs you need to complete. SAM 10, 12, 13. Well, you can read them right here. So to do that, you'll click on this link. That'll take you to my language labs once you've gotten yourself set up. If you are not set up in my language labs, you're going to want to go back to the Start Here block. and there should be a video right here that tells you how to set yourself up in My Language Labs. And if you have not purchased access to My Language Labs, there's also right here a link to a temporary access code that you can use, and the directions for how to set yourself up are here. Just note that in 2 weeks your access will expire and you have to get access to My Language Labs by that point. But where am I? So you'll click on My Language Labs and it'll take you out here. You'll log in, and you'll know how to do that once you've set yourself up. And then you'll go down to the calendar, and our work for this week is on the 10th. So I think if you click on this and you click on the assignment, it'll pull you into the assignment calendar, but I think it's just easier to either click on the course calendar or the to-do list. I like the calendar better. You might like the to-do list. So I'm going to click on the course calendar. I'm going to click on the 10th once I'm in the course calendar. And the items should populate right up here in the middle. So you can see all of your assignments right here. And then you just want to start clicking on them. Okay, and when you click on them, the assignment will come up, and you can do it as many times as you would like to get the best grade possible. And then when you're done, you'll hit finish and submit for grading. I mean, you can do it. You'll do it each time you do it. You have to hit finish and submit for grading. But but it gives you an option. You can keep redoing it. And I will only see in the averages. I mean, I could go in and find all of your attempts at the assignment, but the only one that's going to show up in the grade book from which I'm going to take the grade is going to be the highest attempt. So I won't. It's not an average. Like if you got a 50 on this activity and then you got an 80 and then you got 100, what will go into the grade book is the 100. Okay. And then if you're needing to put in accent marks, I think this one is just going to ask you, I think you're just putting in numbers. But if you need to put in accent marks, you have a little accent bar right there. And you just basically, like, you would click in the block and then you would hit that accented letter and it'll populate in the block. And if you needed it in caps, you just hit that button and then you can do the same for the caps. Okay. And I think that's everything you have to do for week 1. So if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me. When you're doing these activities in My Language Labs, just remember that if you have to do it more than 3 times, you're probably not going to get it right. So I would suggest reaching out to me rather than going on and doing it like 10 times because you'll get very frustrated. Okay, so I hope that clarifies what you have to do for week 1, and good luck.